Let's talk about a new way of looking at transition, including life transitions, career transitions, transitioning into parenthood, becoming a mother, or transitioning beyond that identity or with that identity. I'm in Syros, Greece right now with my family, living here for 3 months with the company Boundless Life. And we live here and experience life as a local, and the kids go to a school here, and my partner and I work remotely here. I am pregnant, 14 weeks pregnant with my third kiddo. And so pregnancy and transition is on my mind, more so than normal, because a lot of my work is in transition. So I'm playing with something here, and it's a bit raw, and I want to know your opinion about it. I want to know what you think about this, how it resonates with you. Typically in transition, we may think about, okay, let's talk about career transition first. Like if I'm going from one job to another, it's like there's an ending, there's a little middle point, like I'm not sure if I have a job yet, I'm looking for a job, or maybe it's like 5 minutes and then I start writing. I already knew what I was going into, and here's my next job, right? It looks like this. It's linear, right? Point A to point B. Then there's another job, point B to point C to D. It's like continual. There's an in-between point that often can be really like awkward, and that's like the time of a lot of questions. We don't know. We don't feel as sure about what's going on. We just may not feel as centered or grounded during that time. As I continue to play with this model or think about this practice, our culturally, the question that we ask in conversation when you meet someone is like, oh, hi, I'm Jamie. What do you do? This is like conversation around work specifically, or well, also how do you earn your money? And also identity. Like, oh, I'm a chief experience creator. I'm just making that up. And there's some type of title involved. And when we transition from role to role, transition in life too, with parenthood, that's a big one. Transitioning from a career or a way of living or a role you've had for a long time, or that you feel maybe defined by, or that you've dedicated so much energy to, moving from that. We have had a title for ourselves that we call ourselves maybe, or we think about for ourselves. I'm a caregiver. That's what I do. I am caregiving. That's where I spend my energy, for example. And then I'm no longer caregiving. So what do I do? How do I spend my energy? Who am I now? So it could be career related or just how we spend and dedicate our energy. There's these big questions around our identity, who we are, and then what that title is, as though you may resonate. Let me know if you do, if you kind of feel like you have to figure yourself out. Like, I got to figure myself out. I don't know what to call myself because I don't know what my job is. I don't know what my career is going to be. I'm still in flux. And I say this, and I've said this like through every big life transition, out of being a pro athlete, beyond becoming a mama, and most of my big career shifts that I've made, they show up. So I was like, what if we play around with this transition concept and around our growth, our personal development, and our relationship with identity? And instead of moving from one to the other linearly, what if we go upward? So in a 2D version, I'll draw this for you in a 2D version. First, it looks like this. More nature related. A spiral. You start here, right? Maybe when you were born. The roles and identities we've had when we were born. And you continue to move on and on and on. A similar concept could be like the tree, rings of a tree. So instead of a spiral, there's rings of a tree that you add on, add on, add on, add on. I'm not going to use the rings of a tree because sometimes we go back and forth between what we're doing and what we bring with us, right? And the reason I'm going to use the spiral too, as you'll see right now, is if you put this in 3-dimensional visual, very high tech here, drawing this out, it's an upward spiral. It gets bigger and it adds. I feel like this honors, especially, I resonate with this at least as a mom, as someone who's changed identities, or my purpose has shifted a lot over the years. My identity used to be so attached to my work. But as my work changed, and especially when I didn't have specific work I was doing, that became very lost, as though I was like following a very specific map over here. This way, to me, the reason I do a 3-dimensional and a spiral upward is there's continual growth. It's like as in the mother world, I'll say, and maybe father world, but definitely in the mother worlds of someone who's gone through, a birth and their body has physically changed. There's the common phrases out there of like, oh, I'll get, you'll get your body back, and then you'll get your, I don't know, your energy back, and these things back, like, or I'll, get my work back. And the word back means like we're going, if I think of linearly, like we're going backwards. We're going back to where we were, which is not possible because time moves forward for now, at least as far as I know. And so if you think of it this way, it's like we're always growing and always moving forward, as opposed to ever this assumption that we ever have to go back to something that we were, or something that our body was, or something that we did for work even. Because who you are now has changed and evolved and grown and added on. So while we are going through, say, our mothering time, maybe we're not working during then, or choose not to work after for quite a long while, whatever the circumstances, but that there's still continual growth and happenings. It may not have a specific job title to it. It may not have a specific destination, but there is something very profound and a lot of growth happening, and many skills and techniques and practices that are being utilized and being nurtured. They're just different ones, and they may not be attached to a specific job title, ... What do you think? How does the idea of transitioning from one job to another, like your job transitions and your relationship with your identity and the titles in your job or career, how do you feel like which ones, or another one, feels like it supports you better? Going from one to another type of thing, and keeping in mind it. So say if you are a mom, how that might resonate with you too, adding in kind of that piece, or a father, the parenting piece as well. How it resonates with you going in kind of a 2-dimensional linear experience, or more of a 3-dimensional dynamic experience for thinking about your relationship with your identity. Let me know what your questions are around this too. Again, this is raw conversation, and I'd love to know what you think, what you're moving through around your relationship with your identity as you have or are experiencing transitions. So much to explore there. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jamie Comer, and have a nourishing day.